There is a joke in the Israeli intelligence community that Ahmadinejad is the best mole that the Israeli Mossad has ever planted in Iran. That in fact he is a Farsi Jew, Aryeh from Petah Tikva, and that he was put there just to disclose the real face of the Iranian regime. If you would go and ask someone from the Israeli foreign minister, who would you put to act as the Iranian president Ahmadinejad? The answer would be Ahmadinejad, because he's doing wonderful work for Israeli propaganda. The fact that there's someone who believes to have a direct interface with God, who thinks that there was no Holocaust, which is something that I think that he truly believes, and who calls for the destruction of Israel, is worrying by itself. But what worries me most is not that he's saying this, but the fact that truly the man who is in charge in reality in Iran, which is the supreme leader Khamenei, allows him to speak in this way, which presents a more tougher and extreme line of the whole regime. Now, I think that, of course, if an effort should be done against or while this the visit to the UN is taking place, but it should not be put on a personal level against Ahmadinejad, because just imagine to yourself what would happen tomorrow if Ahmadinejad loses the elections next year and replaced with someone like Khatami, for example. And then what? Khatami speaks in using very different vocabulary, even met with Israelis. And then what? You would expect all efforts to prevent Iran from going nuclear to cease existing because Ahmadinejad is not longer in power? The problem is Iran's clerical regime, not Ahmadinejad. And the effort should be direct into this purpose and this target, and not just saying this is a lunatic that every time that he goes to the UN feels that there's an aura over his head, and also that everybody else saw the aura over his head, and not just trying to ludicrous him, but trying to work on the main issue here. And this is a country that supports terrorism, trying to export revolution, and a country that continue with a mass effort to have the able.